A writer, a photographer, on the road exploring a fascinating world in a state of perpetual motion, constantly departing while always arriving, seeking a window into an ever-changing universe. This is Wion Traveler.
A desert island, or well, the equivalent of one high up in the hills. That's where we fled to when the smog levels in Delhi went through the roof. In the North Indian state of Uttarakhand, we drove past the old town of Almora and through the once popular hippie hub of Kasar Devi. Finally, we reached the Binsar Wildlife Sanctuary, an oasis of green that still has more animal residents than humans. The sanctuary is only about 50 square kilometers, tiny compared to other wildlife parks. Originally deemed protected on account of its rich bird life, the sanctuary has become a haven for a rich diversity of fauna that thrives in its ancient oak forest. After a week of digital detox at a boutique luxury homestay that included lazy al fresco lunches, gorging on veggie kumauni fare, and just soaking in the grand spectacle of nature, it's time to move on.
चलो भाई अच्छा नमस्कार नमस्कार धन्यवाद आपका बहुत बिल्कुल आएंगे वैसे धन्यवाद धन्यवाद आइएगा ये मिलेंगे जी ऑलराइट folks, time to head.
Not to Delhi though, there's no way we're going to be convinced to go back there with the AQI levels showing no signs of abating. We're just moving to a remoter, relatively speaking, part of Binsar. We're going to stay with a family that moved here from Bengaluru a few years back and has made Binsar their home. Not only have they chosen to live in a forest, their estate is entirely energy independent. With climate change manifesting its grim reality in our times and affecting our lives, this is a story that needs to be told.
You know, 2 or 3 years back when Johan and I were thinking about Wion Traveler, we had a short list of names. One of them was called Off the Grid, and we thought it sounded really cool and it was kind of representative of the kind of offbeat, remote experiences that we wanted to have and showcase. But I don't think either of us really sort of gave much of a thought to what off the grid really meant. If you look up the dictionary, it means off the electricity grid, which means you're generating your own electricity, whether it's through hydro or whether it's through solar panels. It also extends to sort of, drawing your own water, whether it's from wells or springs or just harvesting rainwater. We're at Binsar Wildlife Reserve, and I think this is the first time that we are truly, truly off the grid.
When was the last time you learned something by observation? Call me ignorant, but I never realized that clouds move in different directions in different spheres of the atmosphere. It's rare when you know that you're having a moment that'll stand out in your collage of memories. This morning, waking up here in this isolated little cottage, walking out to the terrace overlooking this gorgeous expanse, spending my time reading and listening to the sounds of the forest is definitely a moment for the ages. It's been a remarkable morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Meraj. How are you doing?
Yeah, you're all set.
That's where the mountains are supposed to be, or if it's no clouds in the way.
Well, they were visible some time back, but now the clouds are kind of rolled in. Pretty, eh?
It's always in the morning. It's the clearest, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I thought I'd wake you up, but then obviously you didn't look like you were in any mood to wake up.
What a place to live, huh?
What a place to live, man. Can you imagine living here?
It's in the middle of nowhere. You can see one building from here, and that's it.
Yeah, you got 3 neighbors here, apparently. That place is called 9 furlongs, just 9 furlongs away.
Do you think you could live here?
I don't think so. I think I could live here for a month.
Yeah.
Pritam got inspired to live off the grid after reading a book about sustainable living. Fortunately for him, his better half, Pallavi, shared his enthusiasm. And so it was that the couple, along with their young daughter, Ahana, left Bengaluru and made this remote corner of the Binsar forest their home.
The king of the castle is here. I was told you were going to come by and give us some house rules. Obviously,
yeah. Sorry, I couldn't do it yesterday. Did you sleep well?
We slept very well, and Yeah, we figured that, one look at us and we need house rules.
Yeah, nothing very strict. Just a few basic things, do's and don'ts. We're not connected to the power grid here, so it's all solar power.
Right.
So there's plug points only in the dining room. If you want to charge your phones, we'll do it there.
Charging station.
Yeah.
Ah, so okay. Oh, you don't want somebody to plug in a hairdryer?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That'll
right.
blow the whole
A kettle.
or a kettle. That'll blow the whole thing. No?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And water?
We have adequate spring water from the beginning of monsoons and
Right.
In July up to about January, February. And
Oh, that's why you don't have showers.
Yeah,
There are
that's
no
the
showers in
reason
the
we
room.
don't have
You
showers.
notice?
Just buckets on.
Yeah.
It's a bucket bath. There's no mixer also because we didn't. I mean, a lot of times you waste a lot of water in
Sure.
adjusting the right
Right.
temperature.
Yeah.
But we try to make it attractive by using steel
Yeah,
buckets
that's-
instead
yeah.
of
Yeah, well, instead of plastic.
plastic
Yeah,
buckets.
it's nice that there is no plastic in
We use water purifier called Live Straw.
Okay, yeah.
The Dutch company. It's the best technology out there for purification of water when there's no electricity.
But that's the really small one, like a little straw.
It's very small straw, but it takes out about 99.99% bacteria. So that's water. We don't use plastic. We don't give mineral water. We have water in flasks.
Yeah, we noticed that too.
So
Lovely room, by the way. Thank you.
there-
Thank you. What a gorgeous view and everything.
Fantastic
I mean,
spot, huh?
Yeah.
Why don't
Yeah.
you show me around the rest of the property?
Just before we go off, just a couple of more things.
Okay.
Please try and reuse the linen
Okay.
Yeah,
and towels
okay.
for
Sure,
the
sure.
few nights you're here.
Sure.
We don't do laundry here because we're constrained on water and
Right.
electricity. We
Right.
send all our laundry outside the sanctuary, so please reuse that.
Okay.
Okay.
In case you need a change of towels, let the boys know.
Right.
We'll not change them by ourselves unless you ask for it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, but it's preferable if we don't ask.
Yeah.
All right. Very well. I think we got the point.
And just the last thing on food, we don't serve any food in the rooms.
Okay.
We also don't serve non-vegetarian food.
Oh, because you're in a sanctuary, you can't serve.
we can't
Right,
serve
fair
it.
enough. I'll live with that. I'll live with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we could
all
take a
doable.
walk.
So are you guys planning to take a walk?
Yeah,
I'm supposed to
so-
take a walk with Pallavi
Okay.
in the forest a little later. So I think I will eschew this walk.
Okay.
You go have a look around the property.
Yeah.
I'll bum around for a bit, and
Cool.
then I'll take off with Pallavi, and I'll see you in a bit.
All right.
All right.
That sounds good. See you later.
Pritam wasn't kidding about those house rules. Keeping tabs on water consumption and constantly monitoring power usage here is an existential reality in Binsar.
So those are the solar heaters. So there's one for each room. There's two rooms in this
No,
cottage.
they're connected
Oh.
to make sure that the water that you get is really, really hot. We use zero electricity. We set them up 5 years ago, and they're good for the next 10 years at least.
Wow.
So they're great. There's no electricals in there. It's all thermal heat trapping.
There's no
and- No.
electricals at all. You don't even need to pump water into them.
No, so that's what we'll talk about as we go further on. We don't pump our water at all. Everything comes from a spring
Wow.
into our tanks, from the tanks into the rooms. It's all by gravity.
Wow,
We
that's
don't
a
pump our
neat
water
setup.
anyway.
Let's go check that out, huh?
This pipe is connected to a natural spring in the forest.
So this is what we have, and the way we've structured this entire pipeline is we've got all these gate valves everywhere, which take the water to different tanks.
Okay.
We've got tanks
Also, then
here.
you can fill up one tank at a time.
and the other, yeah.
Under this badminton court is where most of the spring water is stored, in 2 underground tanks that hold over 25,000 liters of water.
So where is the
guess.
water? You collect it in
There
this
are
tank
two
over
water
here?
tanks here, right underneath where we are.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice setup.
Well, that's a
we've-
big part of it. Obviously, water is one of the most crucial aspects of this.
Yeah.
What do you have in here? This is a...
This is these are the entry points into the tanks for us to clean
Oh.
the tanks. We've just created this little structure here to make sure that rainwater doesn't go in.
Okay.
That's the point about recognizing that we have limited resources, and so ultimately there's no end to how much you want.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to put a cap on it and say, this
Yeah.
is what we've got and let's live within this space.
And if you just manage to tell people that and they live by that, then that's enough.
Yeah.
People say the wars of the future will be fought over water. Fresh water is limited beyond belief. Every drop counts. We clamber up to the roof for a closer look at the solar panels. I'm quite surprised by how small these are. I was under the impression you'd need a much larger setup to provide power to this place.
We have 2 sets of solar panels. Each of them is 1 kilowatt.
And that's enough to just have 2 solar panels.
Yeah, that's sufficient for our needs.
Huh. Maybe it would be more if there was a kettle in each room. It's nice that you found a better way.
Considering that most of the power stations in the world utilize coal, perhaps it's time to consider how much of the same pollutants that are plaguing Delhi this year make their way into the air because we use air conditioners indiscriminately. It's interesting to say the least, living out here in the wild and still have some modern amenities that are entirely environment friendly.
Alright. So these are little solar torches, huh?
Yes, they are solar lamps, solar torches we use when there's a power outage. So every room gets one.
Wow.
And they run really long. They run almost, our earliest ones, these ones are from 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And
Wow.
you keep them outdoors, and they're exposed to rain, heat, everything. Pretty good.
So many little solutions, huh, to make the place sustainable overall, huh? It requires a lot of planning to live off the grid, doesn't it?
It does, but it gives you a lot of satisfaction too, that you're
Yeah.
not dependent on somebody else to get you what you want.
So you've been here now
Self-reliant.
for what, about 5 years' time?
Yes.
Would you encourage others to also to try to set up living off the grid and to live sustainably like this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's wonderful to be in control of all the things that you need.
Which you are not at all if you live in the city,
in the
right?
city,
'Cause then you only
and
consume.
so one is to be in control. The other is also in the city you don't know where you're getting things from. So it's not just
Yeah.
not being in control, but you don't know where you're getting things from. So
Yeah.
like in Bangalore, where I used to live before, water is pumped up from Kaveri, which is several hundred meters elevation lower than Bangalore and about 200 kilometers away.
Wow.
And
Yeah, they have a big water crisis there, no?
yeah, and this water is pumped up from Kaveri to Bangalore, so nobody knows this. And
So here you also you collect the rainwater from this roof itself, and that also runs into a tank lower down, I take it?
yeah, to a tank which is down there.
Oh, that one is under the terrace over there.
It does appear to be, for lack of a better word, an ethical way to live. And while I don't want to pass any judgment here, people like Pritam, who have altered their lives to exist in harmony with nature, certainly show that it's entirely possible to live a fulfilling life while scaling back our needs.
If Pritam seems right at home in Binsar, then Pallavi is positively thriving here. Yoga, meditation, and jungle walks embellish her daily routine that includes treating the family's feathered neighbors to fruity treats and tending to indigenous trees that she's planted on the estate. Binsar is famous for birds, and you don't even have to go into the jungle to see why. Right here in Pallavi's garden, there's a virtual carnival of avian life, right from thrushes to magpies and others that I can't recognize. There are plenty of butterflies and moths too, flitting from flower to flower, feeding off the nectar.
Pallavi, sorry, I slept off.
Yeah.
I meant to come find you, but then I just totally passed out. So I guess the walk's not happening now, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
And it's weather like that.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely little garden you've got here.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that bird bath.
Yeah.
I love bird baths. Yeah. It says a lot about a person when they have a bird bath. What is this?
So this is wild turmeric growing
really?
here.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was a very open area, very exposed 5 years back when we came here.
I see.
But you know, it was just so open and so dry that we an idea came to us. We thought of rewilding this whole space
Sure.
and growing a lot of, you know, native trees and plants, flowering plants, so as to attract a lot of, you know, insects and butterflies and birds. And sure enough, in the last 2-3 years, I'm seeing a lot more birds now than
What is this?
there were. This is a very interesting plant. It's called indigofera.
Indigofera.
Yeah, the dye indigo,
Right.
the blue dye.
Wood and
the
aniline.
Neil, yeah, that comes from the leaves of this plant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So indigofera is native to here, and we are growing a lot of indigofera here. Yeah, and other than that, there's a whole lot of stuff here as well. We have honeysuckle growing here.
Honeysuckle.
Yeah, the Himalayan honeysuckle. It is extremely fragrant and again attracts a lot of
Like
pollinators.
I can pluck a leaf and rub it in. No?
Well, not the leaf, the flower.
The
which,
flower.
yeah, it's
Honeysuckle
not
reminds me of
yeah.
something literary, but I can't put a finger on it. I can't remember what it was. Anyway. Honeysuckle. What a lovely name, eh?
Yeah. And a very beautiful fragrance as well.
It is.
This, this is Eleagnus or Givai, it's called. Again, it gets these nice little berries, and birds are extremely fond of this plant.
Are they edible, the berries? For human beings?
Yes, but not very tasty.
Not very tasty.
Birds love it.
Birds
Yeah.
love it.
So there usually are a lot of birds on this.
Oh, so you have
plant.
a green thumb, I take it, huh?
Yeah, but Jasmine, I mean, this soil is so fertile. You just throw anything here and it grows.
And it grows.
Yeah.
What are those yellow flowers there?
Oh, those are dahlias.
Dahlias, okay,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
I thought it would be something more exotic. You know, I thought they were dahlias.
Yeah.
So all of this is like in the last 3 years, is it?
Yeah. Most of it is in the last 3 years. This plant here, that one that you see, the small bush.
Right.
This is something called Timur. It's also.
I know Timur.
Yeah,
Timur's,
you know?
Yeah, it's crazy because
Yes,
because it's
the
explosion
pepper.
of
Yeah,
flavors
yes,
in your mouth.
Yes, exactly.
They use it in Nepal, you know. We were in
Okay,
Nepal and they make
yeah.
like chutneys out of it.
Okay.
Johan and I went to Munsiari and we got a lot of it, but we haven't figured out what to do with it.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was like a Szechuan pepper.
Exactly,
Right?
it is. Yeah,
It is that, yeah?
It is Szechuan pepper, and it can be used like peppers, highly medicinal in nature. So a lot of trees also planted here in these terraces, and you know, in the next 8 to 10 years, when they come up, this will be like a mini forest. And
Lovely.
yeah, the idea is, or the dream is, to make it merge with
Merge
the
into that
forest.
one?
Yes.
That's a very good
So
forest.
yeah, so
Take a few centuries for that.
so let's see.
Well, somebody's got to start.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't look like it was bare once upon a time.
Oh yeah, it used to be, because you know, these were apple orchards in the British times,
Right.
and apple doesn't grow here anymore, as we know.
It's gone.
Like, yeah, it's moving upwards. So this was just barren completely. Now there are a lot of these small
Because
little
the
things
weather
that are growing.
doesn't allow for apple to grow here anymore.
That's right.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's
nuts.
That's right. It's not. This region is not as cold as it used to be.
No, that.
Yeah, and so this was like just all too exposed. Now there are a lot of small little things that are coming up here, and hopefully this will be a very nice native forest.
That's what you want to call it, native forest.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan? Arey वाह वाह, बड़े
Yeah.
वक्त पे आए आप. लाइए. Well, the weather is as unpredictable as ever.
Yeah.
Aren't we glad? See,
Hill
that was divine intervention that I slept off. Oh, फंस गया. Oh, दूसरा ले लिया. It was divine intervention that I slept off, because had we gone for a walk, we would have got stranded in the forest.
Yes, totally. Yeah. The weather's changed completely, but then this is hill weather.
And you, well, yeah. You would have probably made a run for it, leaving me right there.
Yes, for the leopard.
For the leopard. That's what I deserve. चलिए बात पे.
Okay.
This is the highest point on the property. As badminton courts go, it takes the cake. The magnificent Trishul peak catches the fading rays of the setting sun, while the shadows lengthen on the Binsar forest stretching out in the valleys that lie below.
I'm not much of a player, but if there was ever a time and a place to pick up a badminton racket, then this is it. Setting up a time-lapse is a long affair. You sit around twiddling your thumbs while the camera shoots. But that wasn't too hard. Spectacular sunset.
The story would be incomplete without a mention of Ahana, the precocious preteen who, by any yardstick, is experiencing a unique childhood in Binsar. From what I saw, she spends most of her time reading and sketching. Ahana is, as would be expected of a child her age, rather camera shy. She finally agreed to team up with a friend and give us a talk on her pet subject, climate change and the challenges the planet is facing.
This place to show you that nature with all its birds and trees and natural beauty is at risk.
Go out with your friends in the one car, don't use too much plastic and don't pollute the cities.
Do nothing that will harm the environment.
If we don't make a change in the world soon, there will be no living world to make a change in.
So be a green warrior, help save the environment.
Binsar is a place that presents the antithesis of the collective callousness that plagues human behavior when it comes to the environment. A place which, for the few people who live in it, necessitates a balanced give and take with the planet. Where mobile connectivity hasn't yet made inroads, where the sun is still the only source of power, and where rainwater must be diligently harvested to meet human needs.
In the Binsar Wildlife Sanctuary in the upper hills of Kumaon in the North Indian state of Uttarakhand, there's no scope for wastage of precious resources. In a way, this small sanctuary is a microcosm for our planet, and the people who live in it provide a fascinating case study of how it's entirely possible to lead a sustainable life, to be aware of how our habits and lifestyle affect the earth.
6 home cooks, 1 celebrated chef, 2 wood-fired clay stoves, a mix of local seasonal produce, accomplished and incompetent judges, enthusiastic sous chefs make a stirring potpourri of a cook-off in a land far, far away.